Hi all, it's Damiera here. Welcome to my channel if you're new, or welcome back, and thank you so much for joining me for another video. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you how to set up a beginner coffee bar. Now, before we get started, I do encourage you to subscribe to the Millennial Farmhouse. I'll be sharing here some cleaning videos, coffee bars, and seasonal decorating. Alright, so I typically set up my coffee bar using a vertical cart. However, I thought it'd be neat to share how to set up a beginner coffee bar using this peninsula that I have between my living room and my kitchen. So the first tip I want to give you is that when you're looking to set up your coffee bar, you need to pick a spot, maybe a counter, a hutch, or a peninsula if you have one, that is spacious and horizontal. I've used the vertical cart for many years, but it is definitely easier to use a space that is wide and you can work with from side to side. If you need to clean that space, do it before you set up your coffee bar, because once you have everything all set up, you don't want to have to move it just to do a little cleaning. And you also want to choose a spot that is easily accessible and near outlets. Next, you're going to set up your coffee maker first. Now, the reason I suggest setting up your coffee maker first is because the coffee maker is the most important part of your coffee bar. You want to pick an optimal spot, one that is easily accessible to reach your coffee maker, and of course, near the outlet so that you'll be able to plug your coffee maker in. And then you'll set up those coffee prep accessories. So if you have milk pitchers, maybe a mat that you wanted to put underneath your coffee maker, or some cleaning rags, add those in as well. The next tip is to set up your coffee, your syrups, and your toppings. So what I like to do when setting up my coffee bar is start off with maybe one or two options for the syrups and the toppings. I also like to use just jars and canisters that I already have. I know we see a lot of the trendy coffee bar accessories on social media, but if you don't have those, that's okay. What you want to do is make sure your coffee bar is functional, and then as you build it up, you can get all those trendy accessories. But again, start off with maybe one or two options. You don't want to overwhelm yourself or your coffee bar. A lot of times when you have too much on it, it becomes cluttered, and it can again become overwhelming. You just don't know what to use or when to use it. So keep it pretty simple. I typically do 2 different flavor syrups, and then for my toppings, I have sprinkles and cinnamon powder. Occasionally I'll have whipped cream, but that goes in the fridge, so that's not something I need to worry about. And as far as the coffee itself, I do like to keep a small jar of ground coffee and then another small jar of the coffee beans. And so those are things that you want to make sure are right next to your coffee maker or in your coffee bar spot. My next tip is to play around with the placement of items. As you're setting everything up, take a step back, look at it and see, is that how you like it? Is that functional for you? And if not, go in and adjust it. Alright, and then my next tip is to add in your mugs and some additional tools that you might use. I have a frother back there, it's a handheld one, but that's not something I use all of the time. And then I just have some decorative mugs as well as glass mugs that I'll be using because it's summer and I'm making a lot of iced coffee. But those aren't necessarily things that you absolutely have to keep on your beginner coffee bar. You can keep those in a cupboard or wherever you can still access them, but they don't need to be a part of your coffee bar unless you want them to. And then finally, my tip for you is to put on some finishing touches by using decor. And then keep the decor pretty simple. Don't go with too much decor that will clutter up the space, but maybe 2 or 3 pieces that really pull it all together and give it a little style. So I actually have just some homemade decor here, seashell resin that I made, a DIY blackboard, and also a candle that I repurposed into that coffee mug. And so those are just my tips for your beginner coffee bar. Really, it's all about making the space work for you and not getting overwhelmed. You'll have time to build it up. You just have to find out what you like about it, what you don't, and then adjust. So I hope you guys have liked this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. I do encourage you to subscribe to the Millennial Farmhouse. Hopefully these tips have helped, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.